Potter. I'm the founder and president of Yoga Buzz here in St. Louis, and I've been doing these interviews with different people from across the country who use yoga in different ways to heal. And we've had conversations about yoga and recovery from trauma. We've had conversations about yoga and body image, and I'm here with the lovely Desiree Rumbaugh today to talk a little bit more. So hello, Desiree.
Hello, Elle.
Hi. So say a little bit about who you are.
Well,
in a nutshell.
Yeah, I am a spirit living in a human body. And I've had the great good fortune of being able to practice yoga for a long time. So when I come to present workshops in different communities, I can share from experience. And I love to do that. I love to pass on what I've learned to people who might just be newer or not have it as their career. Because I'm lucky, this is my career, so I get to do it every day. Super lucky.
Awesome. And you're going to be in St. Louis in February, and which I'm looking forward to seeing you again. It's always a wonderful time.
Visiting St. Louis is one of my favorites because every time I come back, I always have this big family, warm welcoming kind of thing. Because you have a really nice community that people, they aren't so much in competition. They kind of just want to be together, and I love that.
Yeah, I'm glad you feel that.
I do.
And I feel it too.
All different ages too. That's what I love about St. Louis. The young people like to hang out with the older people too.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes us feel cool.
Yeah. So one of the things that you talked about when you were here in St. Louis earlier this year, and I had the opportunity to practice with you, is you use this term self-soothing when you were talking about yoga and breath practices and things like that. Will you talk a little bit more about that idea?
Yes, I think that's one of the aspects of yoga that maybe not everybody knows about, but it's a powerful healing mentally, physically, and emotionally that we can learn how to use if we look at it that way. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I made my DVD series called Yoga to the Rescue, and I have learned along the way how to heal my aches and pains and how to change my emotional state through yoga. And that's what we want to pass along, because otherwise, where do people turn? They turn to other things, and it doesn't always last that long, and it kind of leaves an empty feeling. But to be able to self-soothe, to be able to get yourself back in a nice state of being is a really valuable lesson and tool.
I remember the first yoga class I ever took with you. At the very end, there was... you were saying if anybody has any pain in their low back, keep your knees bent and I'll come around and do something to help you. And so I kept my knees bent because my back hurt. And you came over and provided me a little adjustment and movement that helped me feel more comfortable rather than going at it from a perspective of, I think I'm supposed to do it this way and I'm uncomfortable, but this is what she said to do. So I'm just going to stay here and be uncomfortable. So yeah,
a lot of people live their life that way, and I did for the first part of my 20s. When I first got married, I was very unhappy in that marriage, and I kept thinking, is marriage supposed to be like this? Because it's what I had seen in my parents, and it's what I had seen around me. I thought, I guess you just suffer. But that didn't work for me, and so then I started asking questions and going to therapists and learning yoga, and I found there is a way out. You'll have to work at it. I've had to do my work. Yeah. But when people don't live in a state of suffering, they are naturally more kind and compassionate and more loving. True. It's just like an animal. If it's suffering, it's going to act different than if it feels good. And so we are kind of like that.
For sure. What advice might you have for somebody who's really struggling with something right now and using yoga as a tool for coping?
Well, I think that they're going to have to go to the physical, actually. Isn't that funny that you just said that? Because they have to learn on their back or their knee or their shoulder that they can find relief from suffering, but they're going to have to change their ways. Yeah. That's why the biomechanical alignment instruction that we know and love to offer helps people. That you don't have to just hang out here and suffer in this pose to try to please the teacher or stay with everybody else. You can ask for help, and we can make a slight little adjustment, and then, there it is. And so I kind of think you have to learn that on yourself when you're learning asana physically before you can apply it emotionally, because it is really the same thing. Like the reason I'm suffering in this job or relationship is because I'm not assertive enough yet to say my truth. And I had to go to therapy. I had to go to talk therapy to get that, I didn't get that necessarily from the poses so much, my practice of the poses, although I think that it kind of gave me confidence on another level to be doing the poses as well, if that makes sense. I was learning it on that level, and then I went to a counselor who gave me the words. Mm-hmm. So counseling, therapy, and yoga, I think people might need both if they're suffering.
Yeah.
It's a reprogramming. That's what I went through, because we get programmed from birth by our parents, by our school, by our religious, if we have it, beliefs, and then we live our life that way. But that isn't necessarily the best way. It's just the only way we know. And sometimes if it's not working, then we have to seek something different. And some people can do it without seeing a counselor or a therapist, just by reading. There's so much out available now to read about how to make your life work when it's not working, in whatever aspect that is. But basically, that's what I've learned, is how to make things work for me better. And then when they work for me, then I can participate with others. I have to make it work for me first.
Yeah. What do you have anything to share about what you're going to be teaching when you're out here in February?
Oh, I always have something new. It just keeps evolving, and that's sort of my trademark, is that I keep evolving into new ideas. And for yoga teachers, I always have some inspiring new terminology or ideas to share with how they can get their point across. And it just keeps changing all the time, which I constantly marvel at. How do I keep coming up with new things? But I think I have a curious streak in me that keeps it going that way. So I have new, it's physical therapy based a little bit now, my teaching. And I like that a lot, because it's getting people to take care of their unique body. And that's what I will try to bring once again in St. Louis, is get to know your unique body and then apply the teachings there, and then see what you can figure out, because we are our own teacher ultimately.
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited. And I know that one of your sessions on Sunday, I believe, is specifically for geared towards beginners, or open especially to beginners. Yeah.
Because sometimes beginners are afraid of workshops because they think they don't know enough or they aren't good enough. But they can really benefit from a beginner's workshop, taking them deeper. Because a classroom teacher only gets an hour, or an hour and 15 minutes, or maybe an hour and a half. It's not very long to go into detail, and that's what we do in workshops. And it's a lot of aha moments happen that change their practice.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have always, every time I have left a workshop with you, there's like 30 things, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell everybody about all of these things.
And it's always like that for me too. It keeps it fresh. Yeah, it's great.
Cool. And then Yoga Buzz also is sponsoring some scholarships into the program. So if anybody's interested in attending, but financially wouldn't be able to commit, if you go onto our website, there's information to an application, so that we can do what we can to help support getting folks in who could really benefit from this.
That's awesome.
Yay! Sweet. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you.